92.5 FM.
Yeah, such a good day to be a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Step by step, baby steps to begin with, right? And you got to win the presser. You got to win the press conference. That's exactly what Ryan Nielsen did a little bit earlier today. An A+ for him. Doesn't mean he can coach, but an A+ at the press conference. I mean, it was just phenomenal. He felt incredibly comfortable. He sounded comfortable, very precise in his answers, almost as if he was briefed as to what type of questions he was going to be asked, intelligent. And you could feel the intensity, something that I got. Okay, it had a little bit of a feel that can he get these kids, can he get these young men to literally run through a brick wall for him? Yeah, he had that. And it was a delivered message that was just spectacular. And, listen, I'm not here to pick on Mike Caldwell, but Mike Caldwell's press conference was a disaster, okay? It was just awful. And there's not a lot of those, right? I mean, Gus Bradley's press conference here was so freaking phenomenal. I was convinced that Gus Bradley was going to be a consistent playoff-leading coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's few and far between when you don't at least win a press conference, right? Mike Caldwell did not. Mike Caldwell looked lost. Mike Caldwell looked intimidated. Mike Caldwell looked scared. Remember, went on and asked him, even after his initial press conference, the first time we began to talk about getting ready for training camp, who was going to wear the green dot, right? And for those of you who don't know what the green dot is, who was going to have the microphone in the helmet, the one defensive captain that would get the plays, the defensive scheme from the defensive coordinator. He didn't want to tell us, as if he thought that you could hide that from the masses. But anyway, Mike Caldwell's no longer your problem here in Jacksonville. You got the exact opposite with Ryan Nielsen. For today, yes, you have to be ecstatic about this. And here's the other side of it. Ever since this season has ended, ever since it's gone from 8-3 to 9-8, there's been a tremendous amount of uncertainty. I thought the last press conference we had was with Trent Baalke. There was an awful lot of defense by Trent Baalke, and I mean defending himself, defending his decisions, defending fringe picks in the second and third round, defending my question about why you have all this money and you elected not to address a pass rush defensive end. Before that, it was Doug Peterson, right, who rudely showed up 30-plus minutes late for his season-ending press conference, then went through it all and told us he needed time. He needed a few days to decide what to do with his coaching staff. Well, in less than 3 hours' time, we were told that Mike Caldwell and the defensive coaches were fired. So again, I mean, Jaguar fans are like running around saying, what's going on? The head coach just told us it would take a few days. It took less than 3. So there was a whole bunch of what's really happening. And the term for the Jaguars in 2023, unfortunately, was miscommunication. It happened on the field. It happened off the field. It happened with coaches and players, rookies and veterans. You hope you can get rid of all of that. So today is a massive breath of fresh air to bring in someone who looks like he knows what he's talking about, looks like someone who knows and, in fact, sounds like he's talking about. As a matter of fact, let's play clip number 1. Ryan Nielsen today, first question was asked about what he expects defensively now with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's some things, fundamental things at tackling, takeaways, ball disruption, and pursuit. And that's what we're going to be about. Tackling, takeaways, ball disruption. You have to be a good tackling defense to be a good defense. Takeaways are the number one way to limit points. Ball disruption is making the offense play not on time. We're taking away a running lane or making a ball bounce or disrupting the quarterback. And then pursuit, keeping the ball inside, proper angles, running and hitting. And so that's what we're going to be about. That's what we're going to stress. That'll be the first thing we talk about with the guys before we even start talking scheme or, stance or anything like that. We'll start at that will be our foundation, and we'll go from there.
Doesn't sound like Todd Wash, does it? Doesn't sound like Mike Caldwell, does it? Again, doesn't mean he can coach. He's got a tremendous amount of inexperience. He took over as a defensive coordinator for one season in Atlanta. In 2022, he took over as the co-defensive coordinator in New Orleans. He's got 2 years' worth of experience as a defensive coordinator with two totally different systems. I did like how thorough he was. This almost sounded like a job interview. He was expecting questions. He was prepared for about anything. And I love that. I love organization. I love a hard work in study and, preparation as to what you think. If you're preparing for an interview, and I've never been interviewed before. I don't know. But is there, or I've never been interviewed for a job before, but is there a price you go through? Do you just show up for the interview, or do you spend time, what are they going to ask me? Are they going to ask me this, and this? Could they ask me this, and you mentally prepare yourself. If I'm asked this question, what's my answer going to be? If I'm asked this question, what's my answer going to be? Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't listen to Ryan Nielsen press conferences this past year in Atlanta. But again, today, very impressed. So I think this is a good thing for all of you Jaguar fans to get this in today with Ryan Nielsen. I'm also just paraphrasing here, very fluent in his description of this defense, but he said the one thing that is just so very important. This is Jacksonville's defense, right? He talked about press and man. He also talked about man and bail, which to some extent supports what Trent Baalke said last month when it's not man-to-man concepts. It's actually zone concepts. And a lot of us, our heads were spinning because statistically speaking, analytically speaking, you've seen the numbers, I've seen the numbers. The man-type defense he played last year in Atlanta was as much as any team in the NFL. And in some cases, in some varieties, it was number one in the NFL. And, of course, Jacksonville's man coverage defense was way down, more of a zone team. But he was so crystal clear on the fact that this is Jacksonville's defense. It's not going to be the same in Atlanta. It's not going to be the same in New Orleans. Great coaches look at the guys that they have. And great coaches understand what they can do. He was asked today about individual players. He was asked today about how he's going to use Josh Allen. He was asked today how he's going to use Trayvon Walker. And, for him to come out and say, well, first down, I got Trayvon on the edge. Second down, I'm going to slide him inside. If it's a passing down, we're going to keep him outside. If it's a right, I wouldn't expect that for him. But again, he knew it was coming, and he said he's going to evaluate everything, look at their strengths, eliminate their weaknesses, and I really am very impressed with the way that he sounded today here in Jacksonville. So, I kind of feel for you folks. I do feel for you. I feel like you've been on a kind of a down slope, the national media with this, the national media with that, whether it's some of the surveys and stuff that I've mentioned where they rank Jacksonville and everything that happened at the end of the year. You're in line for some good news. Maybe today is just the beginning to turning this thing around, and obviously it's a much better starting point now than it was 2 years ago. When Mike Caldwell was introduced, Jacksonville was in the midst of consecutive consecutive top picks, right? Trevor Lawrence had been around for a year, and then you went out and got Trayvon Walker. You had been number one in the NFL as far as your selection, pick after pick. That's different now. 9-8 seasons. You've got talent. Have you gotten everything out of your talent? No. This team needs stars. This team doesn't have stars. There aren't Pro Bowlers on this team, not named Josh Allen. Right? And that's going to be part of what we get into during the offseason, making players better. You look at the game that was played on Sunday. What do you got out there? 7, 8 Hall of Famers that played in that game. The Jaguars don't have anything remotely close to being a Hall of Famer. Not even in the stratosphere at this particular point. You need to get better players. And coaches can help get that out of really good players, make them great players. So today, really impressed with Ryan Nielsen. I think you should be as well. We'll play some more nuggets from him coming up in just a couple of moments. All right, also, top story today, Tiger Woods out on the golf course for the first time on the PGA Tour in 2024, and it's been almost a year since he has played. He had a Phil Mickelson type of day. You look at his scorecard, and pars were the exception. Began with a birdie on 1, so had it in red figures right out of the gate on the par 5. Had a lot of success on the par 5s today. Okay, he birdied the par 5 first hole, he birdied the par 5 11th hole, and he birdied the par 5 17th hole. Remember, this is a par 71, not a 72. But Woods was up and down. Bogeys on 2 and 3, birdie on 4, birdie on 6, went out with a 34, 1 under. Had a bogey on 10, the aforementioned birdie on 11, the par 5, bogeys on 12 and 15. Got it back to even par with the birdie on the par 5 17th hole, and then had just a spectacular approach from 109 yards out. Had to deal with some tree limbs, had to deal with a faulty lie, a hilly lie, but left it within, I'm guessing 12 feet, and did not make the putt, so he ends up 1 stroke over par. That is a plus 172 today for Tiger Woods. And again, on this plus 71, he finds himself tied for 57th place. JJ and I last night were talking about the odds on round 1 for Tiger Woods. The Sharps moved it from 44.5 to 45.5. There still are some golfers on the course, some late tee times out here or out there in Los Angeles. Currently, Tiger Woods is tied. Well, he's gone from 57th to 53rd place at plus 1, but it looks like he is in danger of taking the over 45.5. And also for his strokes today, you could have played that 71.5. Boy, the folks in Vegas know exactly what they're talking about. Comes in now with a 72. So that missed putt on 18 was the difference between winning your first-round scoring average for Tiger Woods, or your first-round score, I should say, or not winning with your first-round score. There is a cut in this tournament. Even though it's a signature event, only 70 golfers actually taking part in it. It's the top 50 plus ties, and they've added this rule where if you're within 10 strokes of the leader and you're after 50, you'll still be around for Saturday's round. It is Patrick Cantlay, who, of course, played his golf at nearby UCLA, right? It's about a 10, 12-minute drive from Pacific Palisades to Westwood. 10, 12 minutes, but in that traffic, it can sometimes take you an hour and a half, right? Hey, you live here in Duval. You don't have to deal with the Los Angeles traffic. And I streamed it. I watched it, okay, on ESPN+. He looked comfortable. He didn't look like he was favoring the leg. So, this is very important to me. It should be important to you. It absolutely is important to those over at the Players, which is 26 days away. Better find a way to get him ready for this event, of course, coming up in only 26 days. And there's no guarantee the Tiger's going to play it. Tomorrow will be a big day to see how he responds as far as his rehabilitation, his treatment, the swelling, everything from the knee to the ankle to the foot. I mean, everything. Back to the setting where he had that horrific accident a couple of years ago there at Riviera. Nearly cost him his life. But Tiger Woods back out on the golf course today. For me, it made it a very entertaining Thursday. No question about that? All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Each and every night we do hear from those folks. If you have an issue with your eyes, okay, regardless of what that may be, whether you need a new prescription for contacts or glasses, absolutely, Shmunez Vision. But what about issues that are far more significant? All right, a lot of people worry about cataract problems. You hear in the office that someone had cataract surgery, it didn't go well. Hey, that's a big-time issue, and it's not going to go away. There may be another remedy that you can get that is not surgical, Shmunez Vision. However, if surgery is needed, I had it 8.5 years ago, Dr. Neo Shmunez. So we're talking about a high-quality medical and surgical eye care practice as well. I want you to go online, Shmunez Vision. That is Shmunez Vision, and you can see everything that they do offer. If you're able to do that, you're going to find yourself in a much better situation years and years down the road. Imagine 20/20 vision. That, in fact, could be the case and hopefully will be the case for you good folks once you visit Shmunez Vision. All right, unfortunately, we were pulling for the girls over at Episcopal. The girls' soccer team did lose last night, heartbreak fashion, 2-1, out in Hogtown to PK Young. But what a sensational year for Episcopal, nearly making it into the States, a 2-1 loss. Congratulations to Jay Bolt and everyone there with the girls' soccer team. Coming up next, some Florida State talk with my buddy Niall Lawrence Stample. Later in the program, we go live to Las Vegas. Let's check the money on everything that's going on in the world of sports. Certainly, much more coming up as well on Ryan Nielsen, the defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars, met the media today. More on Tiger Woods as well. And coverage live from Los Angeles. All of that on Into the Night with Rick Ballou.
I'm Paul Posluszny, and you're listening to the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
Prosser here. Have you tried selling your home and it just wouldn't go? Have you thought about selling your home and thought the problems were too much? Let me give you your solution. It's ChadandSandy.com. How's this for a promise? All right? This is a promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or they will buy it. Chad and Sandy have the solution for your problems. In fact, they have the promises. So don't worry about required costly repairs. Nope. Pick your move date. Yes, you can. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So many satisfied customers out there. How about Lee and Shelley in Deerwood? We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called because we needed a miracle. We had to move my mom to assisted living and needed money ASAP to pay for it, but Mom's Condo Association was under litigation, which limited the sale to cash buyers only. Chad and Sandy went to work. They had our money 15 days later. Truly a miracle. Call the agents we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to ChadandSandy.com.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reish Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
It's Mardi Gras all February long at the Blue Crab Crab House. About Creole and Cajun entrees like blackened red fish with creamy shrimp sauce, oysters Bienville, shrimp etouffee, shrimp and sausage gumbo, Creole fried catfish. It goes on and on and on. It is the one, the only Blue Crab Crab House. February, nonstop Mardi Gras. The Blue Crab Crab House, right off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
So, what deals do you have this month?
Right now, get $100 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
More than 60 #1 hits. The king of country music. Código 1530 Tequila presents George Strait. One night only. Saturday, May 11th at Everbank Stadium. George Strait. With 8-time Grammy winner Chris Stapleton. A night filled with mega hits. And special guest, Little Big Town. Saturday, May 11th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. George Strait with Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town together live. Brought to you by Messina Touring Group.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. It's local and it's fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock daily and fresh boxes of oysters. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a ton going on this Thursday night. Much more from Ryan Nielsen on his press conference today with the Jaguars and back to Los Angeles. The return of Tiger Woods today, a plus 172. So we got a lot to do. But right now, let's talk some Florida State Seminoles. It's great to bring back the national champion, now Lawrence Stample, who I've known for quite some time, has a business here in town, NLS Cleaning, and love to talk football with Big Nile. Big Nile, who shrunk a little bit. What did you do to drop some pounds?
Just trying to eat better, man. Just trying to stay more healthy. I got 2 little boys. I'm running around with them, and
you look good.
Better. I appreciate it,
man. And I've noticed that with a lot of former linemen, whether they're offensive or defensive linemen, that when they finally get away from the game, you got to change your ways and dropping some weight. So, hey, listen, I've tried every fad that there is, man. It's hard to drop pounds.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I agree.
But it's good to have you with us. How you been?
Good, man. Good. I can't complain.
Yeah. What a year for Florida State. It ends about as badly as it possibly could have, being left out. Then, 20-some-odd players opt out, and they end up getting blown out by Georgia. Yeah. How difficult is this going to be, Niall, as a former player, for Mike Norvell to just completely turn the page? And we hear that expression all the time, turn the page. But this feels different this year, the ultimate high, and then everything that happened. How hard of a coaching job is this going to be?
I think it's going to be extremely difficult, and I think Norvell will do a good job. I think he'll do a great job because he really understands where college football is going. But I think this is more difficult because a lot of these coaches are really having to adapt to a completely different culture here at Florida State, as well as college football in general, just because this turn of all these players leaving and all this development that gets built every single year basically just gets thrown out of the window for the most part, which sucks, especially you have your guys leaving for the draft. But then you also have them going into the portal, and now we're bringing in new players. We're bringing in new players that are going to need to be key players as well. It's going to be difficult, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he responds, but I think he'll respond well.
There's always frustration with players, and I would have to believe that most of that is over playing time, and that creates unhappiness. But is the main guy with Mike Norvell, and maybe this applies to some veteran leaders on the team as well, the feel sorry mode has been there at Florida State, okay? Feel sorry for these guys. They went 13-0. They lost their quarterback. They did everything they had to do, yet they became the first school ever that was left at the altar. You need to eliminate that. How, do you, if you sense that is still going on, I'm not saying that you demand that they transfer, but what about that part of, the student body? Oh, you guys were screwed. Oh, how hard is that one particular aspect to say, hey, we have 7 months until we play football again. You must forget about everything that happened in 2023.
Yes, that is extremely difficult, especially when it comes to the lack of consistent leadership that you're finding in these college institutions now, because leaderships are really built. Yes, a guy could be a vocal leader, but they're built within practice. They're built within coming in as a freshman, and now you're a sophomore, and now you've gone through the ranks, and now you've done all these things to where these leaders have to step up and they have to win the ears of their teammates on a much different level. And the coaches have to be able to buy into that and show that. So the student body and the fans out there I think we're in a good headspace for the most part, because I think we all still believe in what we have going on with Coach Norvell and that team. But the team itself is going to have to find some leaders in order to be able to really move on from it. And how do you find these leaders with having all these people leave and come and go, and you have multiple players that are not only fighting for starting spots, but some of them are really being guaranteed starting spots. How do you manage all of those things? It's going to be difficult, but listen, I'm a Seminole, and I think the Noles will figure it out.
Now Lawrence Stample won a national championship 10 years ago with Florida State on that defensive line, also played for the Cleveland Browns. It's a totally new world compared to when you played.
It is.
I mean, you guys had leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a leader, but you had Telvin Smith on that defense. You had LaMarcus Joyner. Jimbo always said that those were two phenomenal defensive leaders. A little bit more on that point. Last year's leader 2 years ago was at Albany in verse. And you bring in from Western Michigan. I can't even think of his name. Yeah. I mean, it's just one after another. How can you bring in a guy from the transfer portal, even if he's had success, and maybe that applies to DJ Uiagalelei as the quarterback, and hand him the keys and say, you're the leader of our football team?
It's difficult. And that's where the Norvell, I think, really is going to be able to continue to push for this success that he's had, because he truly understands the portal. He understands what's going on. He's been dominating in the portal consistently, and he shows that. And I think that's where you're able to say, okay, if I'm bringing in someone that needs to be a key player, I need to be awake in terms of how I'm going to manage that. This is chess. And I think that he's doing a great job at playing that. So it's going to be difficult, and especially you have a quarterback that comes in is almost guaranteed playing time, or at least we want to guarantee that playing time. It's going to be the first. It's going to be the first coach that can master that transition. That's going to be the new dynasty.
Yeah, Braden Fisk, Fabian Lovett. Although he'd been there for a while, came over from Mississippi State. Jared Verse. I mean, you just look at that entire defense. They were really transfer portal kids. All right, Mike Norvell won 19 in a row. He's had phenomenal success. He's done it with 3-star players.
Yeah,
he has not had the talent that Florida State had when you won a national title, when Bowden was there. for all of those years. What do you make of Mike Norvell now getting the best recruiting class that he has had with incoming freshmen? And I understand keeping him there is now a totally new challenge.
Yeah.
But young freshman, 18-year-old, being asked to come on in, perform this year, and then obviously being able to develop those very talented players.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation dealing with these 4 stars and these higher ranked players coming in and dealing with other transferred players that have already proven themselves in other institutions. And like I said, I think that's something that is going to be a challenge, but he'll be able to figure it out. I think the interesting part about it is going to be these younger players being able to see what it's like to be in the portal. They haven't been in the portal, but they're being exposed to all these players that are coming from the portal. And they're like, hey, how was that institution? How was that? What's different here? What's different there? And now you're really able to churn up this team that's like, okay, well, I heard that was going on there and that was going on there. So the division and all those things are just going to be, it's so exciting to see where this is going to be, especially with the money and the NIL. There's a nonstop. The coaching right now has got to be just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
In order to be able to cultivate these players and make them buy in with all these distractions.
Your entire defense went to the NFL when you won a national title. What would it have cost NIL-wise to pay you guys?
It couldn't. It would have been astronomical. It would have been. But at the same time, how do you say that, especially with the players that we had? Like, you're talking about different people. We're building different college football players with this NIL. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know what that looks like, but I know that the grind and the sheer will in order to get to where we got, the NIL has something to do with that. I don't know what that looks like long term, but I know that the team that we had and the defense that we had really got it out of the mud. Seriously.
So it was what you and Goldman. Who else?
Timmy Jernigan.
Yeah, I mean, 5 stars.
Yeah.
So what if you're there and you got a wage and it's a good wage?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden you bring in an 18-year-old 5-star.
Yeah.
Who's never played, and you guys have had start after start, tackle after tackle, game after game. You're getting a wage. You're getting a cool wage. But here comes when Jalen, we heard all the stories about when Jalen came in as an 18-year-old, he got thrown out of practice and all of that stuff. What happens when a young kid like that comes in?
It's something that we're going to see probably more and more often because that's where the division comes into the actual locker room.
Yeah.
You have these players that come in, and if they have some chip on their shoulder and it's not respected or it's not reflected by the upperclassmen or those players that have really been there and been established there, it's really not going to go over well.
Right.
So watching that is going to be interesting, but also at the same time, as these players come in and the NIL becomes more of a regular thing, it's going to become more like the NFL, and it's going to become more politics and more, this player has to play, or this is going on in terms of how it's they're getting paid. So it's going to be just continuing to roll with these punches, and we're going to see something completely different with college football. And it's going to be every single year we are going to see teams have to rebuild. And there's not 3 years. It's not 4 years. It's every single year. How can we keep our players, and how can we get other players from other teams? It's going to be it's really, really intriguing, but it's also extremely scary as well.
I mean, you guys were so good, but I look at a guy like Jalen. Were there ever stories like this incoming freshman guaranteed a starting job back when you played?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
Because then again, but it was a different animal.
Yeah.
You guys not only won a national title, but recruiting-wise were top 5 every year. You were top 2 a couple of years. The Atlantic Coast Conference, they have screwed everything up. And this is an ugly legal war now between Florida State and the ACC to get out of their grant of rights, which goes through the year 2036. Obviously, you and I are not lawyers, but just on the surface, where do you believe Florida State should be as early as 2025?
I would say the ACC has really put us in a tough bind, because I think that, unfortunately, we should not be in the ACC coming that time, because there's 1,000 reasons on why we should be leaving the ACC, but there's one perspective, and it's really the one that I hold truest to my heart. when Jimbo Fisher sits in your living room, right? He comes in, he's talking to me, he's talking to my mom. He's basically telling us, listen, we want your kid to come and play for us and everything, but there's one common denominator at every single house that he's sitting at, and it's, we want your son to come and win a national championship.
Right.
That is a consensus across every single, doesn't matter how big he is, how fast he is. We want your son to come and help us win a national championship, because national championships create opportunity, they create money, they create winning, they create more publicity, it creates everything, and that's what the coaches are there for. So when there's a conference that creates an issue with that validity and that consistency and that opportunity, it is very difficult for a Norvell to go into a living room and say, hey, listen, I want your son to come here and win a national championship.
Now, and rivals will use that. They will. Now, the good side is that
100%.
we are going to 12 teams, so it became a one-year major blemish. A 12-team college football playoff will change that. But I get your point, and obviously rivals are still going to use that. Big Ten, does that make the most sense?
Possibly. And to what you just said in terms of it still, if you can't go to a conference, and let's say that we struggle, but we still deserve to be in it, regardless if it's 25 teams in that playoffs, we should be able to have enough say in our conference to say, there's no way. I know they may have lost 2 games or whatever the case may be, but so if we're ever on the cusp of that and we can't feel like that conference is going to allow us to get into that point, it's still an issue. But Big Ten might make the most sense.
Yeah, it might. And I think it'll be interesting. I mean, the SEC does not need Florida State. I think the question the SEC has to ask themselves, can we allow the Big Ten to come in here and take out Florida State?
Agreed.
So that's going to be pretty interesting. Hey, I've known you for a while. Last 2 years have been pretty good again for Seminole Nation. It's been down pretty low for a little while.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Seminole, and spending some time with Coach Norvell, he speaks with conviction. He speaks with intention, and I think he represents the Noles extremely well. And having that pleasure to go there for the national championship reunion and seeing all my teammates and everything, he really has a huge emphasis on alumni. He has a huge emphasis on making sure that all these players are coming back in order to pour back into the program and to be able to see what it takes in order to do those things. And I think that he's really pushing this thing in the right direction.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. All right, hey, tell us about NLS Cleaning. I know it's getting bigger and badder as we move here throughout Duval and in other places as well, maybe even Tallahassee.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hoping to continue to push and continue to thrive. We're doing a lot of work in all parts of Jacksonville. We're doing a lot of commercial work and helping out restaurants as well as commercial properties and large industrial real estate, as well as making sure that your house is game day ready, making sure your house is ready for any event that you need it to be. And we're looking forward to continuing to push here in Jacksonville. We love this city, and this city's really embraced us, so we're very happy to be here.
How do the people get a hold of you?
So you can reach out to us at our number at 904-708-8802, or you can go and take a look at our website at nlscleaning.net.
Sounds good, man. Really good to see you now.
Yeah, good seeing you too, Rick.
Niall Lawrence Stample, ladies and gentlemen, won a national title right here in Jacksonville. He is a proud owner of NLS Cleaning right here in Jacksonville, a big sponsor of this show, and, of course, 1010XL in 92.5 FM. 2 ways you can reach us tonight. You can get me on Twitter, Ballou1010XL, or on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You want to respond to anything you just heard Niall Lawrence Stample say on Florida State? Absolutely. You want to get back to Ryan Nielsen and his press conference today as the Jaguars defensive coordinator? We have that coming up, much more on Tiger Woods and his return to the PGA Tour as well as we go into the night.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
It's Florida, Georgia. Gators Bulldogs. Saturday at 12:30 on 1010 AM.
This is Mia for Window Gang. Window Gang is the premier exterior cleaning service in Northeast Florida. They aren't your average window washing service. Nope, they offer pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and more. Quality services, professionalism, and always great prices. Call their super friendly staff now at 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate, and be sure to ask about their New Year specials. Window Gang, service beyond your expectations. 262-7300.
The President's Day weekend sale is here at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 20% off used clubs, 30% off select apparel, and get custom fit on the new TaylorMade QI10 drivers. Book your free custom fitting online today. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the President's Day weekend sale, or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
It's like when you get a paper cut, and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened, and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know Before You Blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 15th, 1996, Bill Belichick is fired by Cleveland, finishing his Browns coaching career with a record of 36-44.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to american-electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. American-electrical.com.
Looking for the perfect Saturday plans? Head over to Players Grill, where Saturdays are all about pizza and pints. Dive into a delicious pizza paired with your choice of Miller Lite or Yuengling draft beer for just $12.99. Pizza, pints, and a great time. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Were you forced into a nosebleed mortgage rate in this past year? Loan Pronto is here to rescue you. Hey, it's Prosser. Listen, if your mortgage rate is over 7, you're going to be in heaven with Loan Pronto's zero-cost refi. You can cut your house payment by hundreds of dollars and even do it with zero closing costs and no appraisal. Rates have plummeted to the lowest point in nearly 12 months, and it's time to say goodbye to that bad loan you got stuck with. Loan Pronto's got APRs with fixed rates in the 5s. So don't live with that record high a day longer. You can lock in a lower rate now with virtually no paperwork or cost involved. Call now and see how much lower you can get your house payment. Refi now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call for a free 30-second quote, 904-999-1508. At loanpronto.com, you can find out more. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a lot of response here with Now Orange Stample. Appreciate it. Says here you're blaming the ACC for a problem FSU created. I have no idea what that means. How did Florida State create the problem? They went undefeated. The ACC, well, check that. Florida State's Board of Trustees popping off the way that they did, even though they came out and said that everything has to be public, it's not private, which I wasn't aware of. That is valid. I'll give you that. That is valid. Drew Weatherford and company, when they popped off about how you cannot be national championship competitive in the ACC, it felt like the absolute worst karma, and it backfired on them. And even Drew Weatherford, the last time that the Board of Trustees spoke, he said on that particular meeting when they announced that they were going to file to get out of the grant of rights, Drew Weatherford went on and said that he never thought that this football team would go undefeated. So, yeah, there is some validity to that. I will absolutely agree with you when you in fact say that. All right, 6622. I'm Big Bad Rick Ballou. I don't have to interview for jobs. They just give them to me. It's true. 5262. Rick, didn't FSU have a middle linebacker named Ron Simmons in the early 80s? Yeah, he was a defensive lineman. He was a terror. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game. He also went on to be Farouk of World Wrestling fame, back when it was the WWF and into the WWE. I've had Ron Simmons in studio quite a few times. More back in Tallahassee when he would do some house shows. But I never saw Ron play. I was back in Boston then. But if you're looking at the greatest defensive players to ever play at Florida State, I know I'm going to surprise you. But I'm going to say Marvin Jones is the greatest of all time, even over Dion. Okay? And Dion, shut down half the field. But I didn't see Ron Simmons. That was before my time. Marvin Jones was absolutely spectacular. He was better than Derek Brooks. Now, Derek Brooks had a better NFL career. All right? Deion Sanders may be considered the greatest Seminole of all time, but there's more that kind of goes into that. His return, even though he only returned, I think it was 3 or 4 returns for touchdowns in his career. If you look at interceptions and punt returns combined, there was always that talk that he was going to be a wide receiver, but they had the Fab Four. It's a healthy argument between Shade Tree and Prime Time, but I'm going to give the edge to Marvin Jones. Now his son, Marvin Jones Jr., coming over from Georgia, will be part of Florida State's team beginning this year. All right, appreciate that. Now, Lawrence Stample, good stuff on FSU. It is going to really be pretty interesting to monitor all of that this year. And I thought it would be a much bigger problem, watching the Orange Bowl. Feels like they've done a nice job ever since, getting rid of a lot of players that were either dead weight or were just not a part of it. And again, Florida State dominated the transfer portal. They've also had the best recruiting class they've ever had as far as incoming freshmen. So you got to expect some of those players to get into it and begin to produce right out of the gate as true freshmen. All right, as we get ready for hour number 2, I want to get back to the Jaguars and Ryan Nielsen today, who did meet with the media. Some of the things he said were really insightful. Okay, and it was more than being transparent. It felt as though he had done a tremendous amount of studying and his knowledge of this team. We all know that Atlanta, where he came from, played Jacksonville last year in a matchup in London, right? And the Jags won that game. And he was involved in tape study. He was involved in just, watching the game. But as a defensive coordinator, when Jacksonville's defense is on the field and Atlanta's offense is on the field, when you're the defensive coordinator, you're doing your work, right? You're going over with your players. You're going over with your assistant coaches, changes that you have to make, trends that have happened in the game. Maybe you spot something as far as an alignment that is a dead giveaway, that it's going to be a pass going in this area or it's a run that's going to go somewhere else. And so, yes, when you're the defensive coordinator, you're calling the game when you're on defense, but you may be, in fact, doing even more work when your offense is on the field, because that's when you're really teaching, right? That's when you're really coaching about how to stop what is going to actually take place next. So with that said, you may not know as much about the Jaguars' defense because of the reasons that I just gave you. I didn't sense that that was the case at all by listening to Ryan Nielsen. Now, I'm sure he's done a whole heck of a lot of study since he got the gig. And, you know, when Trent Baalke spoke a month ago at the Miller Electric Center, I was there for the press conference, and right after it, Ryan Nielsen was walking around with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson was showing him the facility, and I guess they were down the road at Disney World. He talked about that a little bit today. There with his wife and his kids, and Doug Peterson, you know, sent him a text and said that they needed to meet. Could they meet? And they did. And then, of course, he ended up getting offered the job. But it just really came away feeling that the Jaguars could be in better hands now than they were with Mike Caldwell. And I think it got away from Mike Caldwell. It should not get lost that 2 years ago, Mike Caldwell and his defensive staff took Jacksonville from 9 takeaways to 27 takeaways. Astronomical as far as the improvement. And you look at the shaved, they cut 9 points, I think it was, off of their defensive scoring average, which was historically a franchise high the year before Mike Caldwell got here. Was more than 31 points a game, or it was nearly 31 a game. I think it was 30.7. I'll have to look back on it. But it was really, really bad. He did a nice job. He did. And we didn't hear as much about the takeaways this year that was the same. The reason for it is because Jacksonville turned the ball over as much as any team in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence had 21 turnovers himself. Trevor Lawrence has had 60 turnovers in 3 years. You know, he threw a lot of picks, but he also fumbled the football. Last year, Trevor led the NFL in fumbles and in fumbles lost. He did recover some. I don't remember exactly where he finished this year as far as total fumbles, but it had to have been in the top 5. And there aren't a lot of people out there who believe that the wrong staff got fired, that Mike Caldwell and his defensive staff was good enough to hang on to this job, and that it was the offensive side that the coaches should have been let go. And a couple of coaches were let go, but for the Bernie Parmalee, the running backs coach, was obviously let go. Listen, people wanted Press Taylor gone. People have questioned Phil Rauscher as the offensive line coach. And, that's the biggest problem with this football team. Without any question. The biggest problem with this football team is the offensive line. It wasn't Mike Caldwell in the defense. But someone had to go. And it was all these rumors that Trent wanted him out and Peterson didn't want him out. And did Shad Khan get him? I mean, when you lose like this, that's when the rumors begin. But when Caldwell was let go, your reaction was kind of like, all right. But I didn't hear night after night after night, Caldwell's got to go. Caldwell's got to go. Caldwell's got to go. The way I heard that Baalke's got to go. Or the way that I heard that Press Taylor is got to go. And Caldwell was down the line. But we saw what did happen. Ryan Nielsen crushed it. We still don't know. And we won't know until we get knee-deep into it. Again, the only surprise with Ryan Nielsen, I thought this organization would do the exact opposite. I thought they would bring in a proven veteran. I thought Leslie Frazier made so much sense. He sat a year out to recharge batteries. That's exactly what Doug Peterson did after he was fired at Philadelphia. He spent a year away. I thought that worked well for Frazier. And Wink Martindale is another one that has done so many really good things, including in Baltimore. Okay, yeah, I got into it with Brian Daboll, and that went sideways in New York. They didn't see eye to eye. I actually kind of like that. If you're a losing franchise, you shouldn't be seeing eye to eye. There should be problems, and I'm sure there are just about in every place. This one just ended up getting reported. Where did Wink end up? Do you remember? Did he go the college route? Wink Martindale? Why is that one hard to believe? It wasn't.
Yeah, Michigan.
He went to Michigan. That's a good job. No doubt that's a good job. But I thought he would have been. I mean, you look at three brilliant defensive minds. Wink Martindale, and then Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick, who still, the latter two, don't have a job as of right now. The 15th day of February. So, yeah, that was my only. This organization has gone, and most organizations do. When you admit to making a mistake, you usually go in a different direction, right? Am I wrong? I mean, all you studs out there, if you go blonde, and it's a divorce, don't you end up going brunette? And if you go brunette, and that doesn't work out, don't you go redhead? Right? It's the same thing. Doug Peterson 2 years ago brought in a first-time defensive coordinator in Mike Caldwell. He brought in a first-time offensive coordinator in Press Taylor, albeit we were told that he wasn't going to call plays. Brought in a first-time special teams coordinator. All right? The expectation in year one was not for Doug Peterson to go to the playoffs. No one thought that. Now, we all thought it this year. We all thought year two it was going to happen. So, yeah, they left a lot to be desired with that great fall in year two. But typically when you make a replacement like that, you do the exact opposite. You bring in a veteran presence. That is not the case. I do like what I heard today with Ryan Nielsen. I want to play some of that for you coming up here in hour number 2. All right, also in hour number 2, we're going to go to Las Vegas. We're going to check the money with our good friend Rafael Esparza. Record-setting numbers in Vegas, okay? Certainly across the globe with the internet, and where do you have 38 states now, including the District of Columbia, where you can legally bet. But just in Vegas itself, it was record-setting numbers, and the book ended up collecting, but it was like only $8 million. And I know $8 million to you, $8 million to me seems like just a phenomenal amount of money. But when it's an event as big as the Super Bowl, that, believe it or not, is really disappointing to them. Remember, the way that they set all of these lines is the meet in the middle, right? And to make money. And they did not make a lot of money.
Poor guys.
Yeah.
I really feel for the books.
I do. I do as well. But we'll see what happens. Want to get back and talk some golf as well. Patrick Cantlay, 7 under today at 64. Pretty decent leaderboard. How about Will Zalatoris today after the back surgery? Went out with a 29 today. I mean, look at his card. I'll give it to you. 6 birdies, 3 pars going out today. A 29 for Will Zalatoris. And putting has always been his issue, right? Pretty good day with the flat stick. I want to say through 13 holes, I heard he had 20 putts, which is really, really good, considering that is, without any question, his biggest
weakness.
Flaw. Oh, my God.
And if you want to see Will Zalatoris, we have a giveaway later tonight where you could potentially see him.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
You get to see Will specifically,
no,
or
just,
perhaps others?
Others as well.
All right.
Potentially the greatest field in golf, they like to say.
Oh, so, I kind of double dipped today. I was listening to I'll say it this one time. I was listening to PGA Tour radio because I wanted to get some of the insight there. I mean, TV's the best, right? but radio's more thorough.
They do a good job on the golf broadcast.
They
dude.
really do.
Like you would expect. There's two sports that we broadcast on 1010 a lot that I'm like, on radio they got to be crap, right? But no, golf and NASCAR, they actually put you there. They do a really good job of explaining everything on the course. Like you said, they're very thorough.
I was planning on going the entire time. I told you about it last night. I like to go to these Jaguar press conferences, and I don't not go because I'm lazy. I don't not go because it's a 30 to 45 minute drive. I just really wanted to watch Tiger Woods play golf today. So I could only do one thing at a time. But when I was tipped, and I got a great tip today, I was told 1010XL and 92.5 FM. I was told you, JJ, were going to play the Ryan Nielsen press conference. And you did. And I heard when you made the transition. So I was like, this is great. I'll listen to everything with Ryan Nielsen and be able to keep my eyes on ESPN Plus, as I did television-wise. And when I was doing a couple of errands earlier, I actually had it on the PGA Tour radio. But what's great about Will Zalatoris is, to our golf listeners out there, in your normal group, I'm sure there's a guy like this, or if not, it's in your club. He is just an absolute master, tee to green, and cannot putt for his life. Okay? I mean, this guy's like, he's like greens in regulation. He's like, 14 out of 18, and he's going to hit almost every fairway, and he's 300 yards plus, and it doesn't matter what iron it is for his approach. He's there, and then all of a sudden, bam, if he can get out of there without a 3-putt, I've never been able to understand that part of it when it comes to like weekend hackers or regular golfers who play, whether it's for money or for enjoyment. You see them on the range. What are they doing? Driver. Okay? It comes down to the short game. It comes down to scrambling. It comes down to your ability to go up and down, whether it's out of the sand, anything around the greens, and making your putts. To you youngsters out there, if you're driving to become a golfer on the PGA Tour, you have to make your putts. That's the most important thing. Everyone nowadays hits 300 plus. Putting is incredibly crucial.
And unfortunately for Willie Z, he was getting there. He was amazing in 2022 at the majors. He had like 3 top 10s. I'm looking at it right now. Tied 6th in the Masters, 2nd in the PGA, and tied 2nd in the U.S. Open. Tied 28th for the Open Championship. But then he had that injury.
Yep.
Missed the entire season last year.
Yeah, he really did. But a good opening round for him.
He's got a couple majors in his future, no doubt.
Gary Woodland, I'm good friends with his buddy. Actually, let me take a break here. We're way overdue. I've overshot it. Gary Woodland had brain surgery in September.
Mm-hmm.
I know his cousin very well, Jacob Johnson. He's one of the buddies that I golf with, and he had it at 4 under at one point. He played in that
Tiger JT group.
Yeah, the what do they call it? The signature group or whatever it may be. JT started slow today. He had it at +3. So guys played better on the backside. Not the case for Tiger, who early on had it in red figures before he surrendered a couple of bogeys. All right, coming up, hour number 2. Good to have you with us. He's JJ LaSalva. I'm Rick Ballou.
I know what you're trying to do.
1010XL.
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
Free your mind.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville is excited about the new 2024 all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
We have over 11 in stock, with more on the way.
Come in today to test drive the all-electric Lyriq. It's an experience like no other.
And if you drive home with one today, we'll take $7,500 off your new Cadillac Lyriq at signing.
That means no need to wait for the end of the year tax credit. You get the $7,500 today.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Have you been dreaming of enhancing your living space with top-quality custom windows and doors? Now is the perfect time to make that dream a reality with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
More than 60 #1 hits. The king of country music. Código 1530 Tequila presents George Strait. One night only. Saturday, May 11th at Everbank Stadium. George Strait. With 8-time Grammy winner Chris Stapleton. A night filled with mega hits. And special guest, Little Big Town. Saturday, May 11th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. George Strait with Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town. Together live. Brought to you by Messina Touring Group.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Folks, the First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in 4 categories: Best Orthopedic Practice, Physical Therapy, Pain Management, and Foot Care Clinic. For the last 30 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
If you have had problems selling your home or haven't even bothered selling because of the problems that you would expect, here's a promise for you. Chad and Sandy of ChadandSandy.com guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Simple as that, right? So if maybe you are worried about selling for less money, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home but not sure how, they have the answers, the solutions, the promises to take care of all that. Take it from Debbie in Orange Park. I was going through a divorce and needed to be close to family quickly. I was going to sell my home to an instant offer investor for $375, but I heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and decided to call. Thank goodness. Chad and Sandy got me $45,000 more in just 3 days. Call the only agents we're trusting and recommending. Call Chad and Sandy at ChadandSandy.com. The number is 904-414-6200, or you can go to ChadandSandy.com. That's ChadandSandy.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour Fan Shop, The Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, let's get to Ryan Nielsen. One other comment, though, I got to mention, just real quick, involved with golf, because I know we have a great golf audience. And for many of you, things really pick up starting a couple weeks ago with Pebble, right? And then you made it through the Wasted Open in Phoenix. Now we're at the scene of the crime where Tiger almost lost his life out at Riviera. And then we'll get ready for the Southern Swing. But I was listening today, and I was like, man, that's a reach. He's like, 49 of the top 50 golfers are here. Last year's FedEx standings. And I'm like, come on, man. That is just, don't do that to golf fans. We know that so many heavies are on the LIV. And yeah, you could say the LIV is irrelevant, and you could say that the LIV is dead, but the LIV is still taking massive personalities. Taking massive personalities. And I'm like, 49 of the top 50, and then they go, that's like
last year's PGA FedEx rankings. Yes, I wonder who that one guy is who isn't there. But you know what's even sadder? I thought you were gonna say the World Golf Rankings, because those are also super tainted now. Like, all right, let's say you do have the top 50 in the World Golf Rankings. That's because you don't have Koepka in there. That's because you don't have Rahm. I guess Rahm is still up there because of last year's points. But after a while, right, they won't.
That's fair.
It's like, that doesn't mean anything either.
That's actually a very good point. It is. They will not allow points for the World Golf Rankings. I think there's an easy way to fix that. Go to 4 rounds and put the pressure. And don't tell me things don't change. Look at what Jay Monahan did. The money he's now everything changes.
Yeah, I don't think LIV is standing on that 3 rounds till they die. Like, this is the one thing that's super important to us. I agree. I don't care about the no cuts, but 4 days would make it a lot cooler for me.
See, Vern Lundquist announced today that this will be it.
I do. His
final
last Masters, which he's been done with football for probably, 5 years now? 4 or 5 years.
It was 2016, and he was really forced out. To me, two absolute monsters were forced out. Brent Musburger with Disney. You are looking live. And Vern Lundquist, and I get it, Vern made a ton of mistakes, but I got the feeling that he loved it and he enjoyed it. To me, Brad Nessler is slowly becoming Al Michaels Part 2, where he's offended if there are penalties. He's offended if there's a challenge. He's offended if the officials are trying to figure things out. You can't hold these pristine positions and get paid millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and act like you don't want to be there. You know how lucky you are, and you've got phenomenal God-given talent. But am I wrong? You can like or dislike broadcasters, whether they're talk show hosts like I am and JJ is, or whether you're a play-by-play broadcaster. Like or dislike is one thing, but you should never act like you don't enjoy being there. It is like
he's really going to get tested this year when
Cardinal sin.
It's not like LSU versus Bama and it's Michigan versus Rutgers. Yeah. They're going to have a totally different schedule of games now.
His 40th Masters, he's 83. So Vern Lundquist didn't start getting involved with the Masters until he was 43 years of age. I never would have guessed that. I thought it would have been a lot earlier in his career. Let's get to Ryan Nielsen. Let's do this one first. Again, and Trent Baalke, and I won't speak for anyone else. I'm only going to speak for myself. Trent Baalke was going back and forth about, well, it's man defense, but it really has zone concepts, and a lot of us were kind of spinning. Again, I want to speak for anyone else. I'll speak for my head was kind of spinning when I was listening to Trent Baalke. And Baalke at the end of it said, I'll allow, let's let Ryan Nielsen explain his defensive scheme. But it sounded really confusing listening to the way that Trent Baalke was saying it. It appears Trent Baalke was right about a lot of this. Here's Ryan Nielsen earlier today.
Well, we like to, as one of our coaches would like to say, nothing cheap and nothing deep. And so when you're press, you take away the quick game. And we like to play shell, which everybody, when you look at us, we, take away the deep throws. It may look man or man-ish at times, but sometimes there's some press bail and some nuances in the coverage of that. It actually is zone with tighter coverage outside. And so that's actually good that you see it like that, because if we're viewed like that, then we drop into zone. It could be advantageous for us on defense. So, yeah, we're going to be mixing and matching. We play a lot of different coverages and mix and matches our coverages. And again, that's what we did then, and it may be different now. And so that's what the process that we're going through and with the players. But we have everything in there. It's just what are we going to start with? We know where we're starting. What's the ending? What's it going to look like when we end? Because the new coaches and the new players together, and we want to do what's best for everybody.
All right. I think it's going to be quite an experiment for true Jaguar fans. Okay? And listen, I love all you Jaguar fans. I love you folks who cannonball Miller Lights before you go in and have the only thing you know is who's playing. Okay? I also love fans who it's first down and 10, you're doing this. It's second down and 9, you're doing this. It's third down and 2, you're doing this. I love those type of fans that are fully enthralled with the offensive and defensive game plan. You've seen all the Leo and how boring and how, what type of defense that was with Gus and with Todd Wash. I thought Mike Caldwell's defense was better, albeit too predictable, until there were times where they went with a 3 linebacker look last year against Baltimore, 3 safety look. Still, a fairly easy defense to try to figure out. This thing right here, what an answer. I mean,
imagine Caldwell saying something
you got to feel good. What's the one who said press and bail? So, you're setting up as if you're man-to-man. You're on the guy at the line of scrimmage, but right as the ball's getting ready to get snapped, I took that as defensive backs or well into a backpedaling mode, and it becomes more of a zone style defense. I don't think there was enough, when
nuance.
When you make changes, you always hear 4-3, 3-4 exotic blitzes. It's kind of like the line, right? It's kind of like you young co-eds out there. I mean, I know you don't talk to girls anymore. You just send them a text. But back when I was running and ripping, I'd go with the, excuse me, what's your major, right? That's the line. Oh, it's a hybrid, a 4-3, a 3-4. Every once in a while, we'll have an exotic. But no, this guy's like, whoa. It's advantageous if you think we're impressed. I mean, it's not like it almost is. It's like he's giving you a little snippet, man. He's giving you a little taste that it sounded like to me that when he gets his hands on this defense, he feels that he's going to be able to basically do whatever he wants to do. Now, certainly you need the talent to be able to do that. But Jacksonville has some guys that are rangy. They have some younger players who have done different things. A guy like Antonio Johnson, okay? Is he going to be your nickel? Is he going to be your safety? Are they going to cut Rayshon Jenkins? How are you going to, when we come back, let's get into this. How are they going to use Trayvon Walker? How are they going to use Josh Allen? What are they going to do with outside linebackers in this style of defense? All last year, how many times on this show did we talk about Trayvon Walker becoming Calais Campbell? First down, second down. He's on the outside, right? Obvious passing third down situations. You bump him inside. Remember Calais did that? You had Allen on one side. You had Unique on the other. It didn't help that Jacksonville said goodbye to Arden Key and didn't replace him with anyone outside of a fifth-year undersized guy in Yasir Abdullah. But there were very little snaps this year where Walker actually went to that position. And Walker got better. He did. He got better, especially in the second half of the season. I know there's some of you out there that refuse to admit that because you're still absolutely stained by the fact that he was the top overall pick. He played better. Okay? Am I going to sit here and tell you that, he's on his way to the Pro Bowl, he's on his way to the Hall of Fame? No. But he played better. Anyway, let's come back with this on the other side. If you want to join the conversation, you can. 641-1010, best way to get in. That is our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
The home of the Florida Gators and Jacksonville Jaguars.
Make yourselves at home, sweet home, boys.
1010XL.
Hello!
It's a big house.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Exciting news from Leonard Truck Accessories in Jacksonville on Blanding Boulevard. Stocking brands like Real Truck, UWS, WeatherGuard, carry-on trailers, and more. The best deals with the best prices only at Leonard Truck Accessories on Blanding Boulevard. Leonard, your truck, your style.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
A bucket of balls and free advice from PGA pros. Brunch with the Tour.
What's this about?
Dan, Jeff, and PGA Tour insiders.
It's a bit simplistic, but basically correct.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents
Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I gotta change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99.
What do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
And do you have oil for my old work truck?
You can find the right high mileage oil to help it go farther right here at AutoZone.
AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Florida Forum welcomes 4-star Admiral James Stavridis, February 26th.
Funds raised for a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transfer more than 2,200 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. To get your tickets, call 202-2886, 202-2886, or thefloridaforum.com. thefloridaforum.com.
Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your family. Mr. Sparky will install the best unit for your home.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
February is Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center will help you take charge of your well-being. Their new location at World Golf Village off I-95 now provides screenings for prostate, bladder, and colorectal cancers. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, I just saw that Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, announced that he's going to retire after the 2029 season. So with that said, I would like to announce that I'll be retiring at the end of the 2042 calendar year. All right? Give me another 18 years.
Well, have you heard Jim Nance's?
What's
it's
he got
even
going
funnier. He says he's leaving CBS at the end of 2035 Masters. After the 2035 Masters, he's going to call it quits.
These guys have Trent Baalke type of security.
Yeah, they do.
They're not worried about their
Jim
job.
Jim Nance deserves it. I mean, he earned it. I can't say the same about Trent.
Trent's not worried. I asked him. He's not worried about his job. Not going to change anything. We got into that with him. Back to Ryan Nielsen. He was asked today about Trayvon Walker. How does he plan to use the defensive end?
Here's kind of our philosophy with the players is we're going to put the player in a position that he can have success first over the scheme. And so we're going to evaluate everything that he does well. And then if he can rush inside, then we'll put him inside, Gene. If he's more of a better outside rusher, we'll keep him outside. Yes, we've evaluated those things, but 10 snaps is not enough to say that, yes, he can do that or he can't do that. And so we'll identify that once we get to OTAs and so the process is never ending, and we'll put our guys in the best positions for them to have success, and then ultimately we will have success on defense and as a team.
He didn't have a bad answer. He was like outstanding with everything. And for those of you joining us for the first time, I want to say that most coordinator or head coaching changes, general manager changes, whatever it may be, they typically win the press conference. It's very rare not to. Ryan Nielsen crushed it. This was an A+. And the last A+ I had, his name was Gus Bradley. And someone just sent me, say, I asked you about Reddit? Someone just pulled up something that I said, because I don't go to Reddit, but someone sent me a clip that said that put my tweet on that I graded Ryan Nielsen's press conferences an A+. Someone on Reddit pulled up me saying that Gus Bradley crushed his press conference January 18th, 2013. Someone had that tweet saved.
That's like the first year of Twitter, and someone screenshotted it.
Someone had it, and I'm like, but you know what? I don't deny it. And that's why I've been careful to say here 3 or 4 times, I'm not saying that this means Ryan Nielsen's going to be a great defensive coordinator. I'm not saying that. Okay? I'm saying he crushed the press conference.
I'm looking at it right now. Gus is killing the presser. Jax fans should be excited.
What's the date on it? Because I somehow deleted
January 18th, 2013.
I mean, that was great. I mean, I just feel so honored that someone would actually screenshot. I know what else it was. I got one over the weekend. Remember the Jalen comment a year ago that created a lot of friction when I said Jag fans would be idiots?
If they brought him back.
If they didn't want to bring him
back.
Right,
yeah.
right. And I know that ruffled a lot of feathers, but anyway. I tweeted out the Lenny quote. When Lenny said, I'm going to win 3 more Super Bowls.
He should have won 3 more Super Bowls.
What?
Didn't he say he should have won 3 more Super Bowls?
No,
he said he's going to.
I'm going to win 3 more Super Bowls until my time is up. And I'm like, bro, you had 12 carries this year for the Buffalo Bills. How's that? So I wrote on Twitter, I tweeted and I wrote, I said, Playoff Lenny, are you drinking or smoking? And some guy out of nowhere responds with the Jalen thing, and then above it he says, you should talk. You're a Trump voter. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Because of your take on you should bring Jalen back?
Why are you bringing politics? I mean, I made a comment on Jalen. I made a comment on what are you bringing up Trump and political stuff for?
And if we're going to be fair and we're comparing the two that are our most recent presidents, I would say the Trump side looks like the smart ones, folks.
I just don't know where it came from. You know, I'll do politics with you if you want. But
absolutely.
I won't do it on the radio, okay? But I commented on Leonard Fournette and Jalen Ramsey. And that particular individual on Twitter had to have been massively stoned to respond the way that he did.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lenny's right now. I'll get at least 3 more Super Bowls before I'm done.
Bro, how wasted are you to make that comment? He's not even going to make a team. You're going to have a fresh wave of all these new running backs that are coming in. I've seen the top 10 backs. He's not another one who's just fallen on just completely off the map. I mean, the world is flat, is Dalvin Cook. He's not even listed as a top 10 free agent running back.
Dude, they were talking about how he was going to be a game changer in New York.
Man, do things change quick at that position?
I don't even think it's because he was old or slow or whatever. I just think the Rodgers injury changed everything for that team.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He didn't really get too many carries.
Maybe I'm a little biased because I love Dalvin Cook. But, man, I'd take a shot at him if I was a team that thought they were a playoff-type team. Probably get him on the cheap. Probably get him for something very affordable. You know, probably get him for a few $1,000,000 a year now. That position is so undervalued. Less carries. You know, no wear off the tires this past year. None whatsoever. I think total he had, less than 100 carries?
Oh, yeah,
for the
he
entire
had 67.
Year? Yeah. Is that both teams?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it was a year of savior. Is he? Because before Minnesota cut him, look at his numbers. His final year in Minnesota. I mean, was it 1,300, 1,400? I don't remember how many games he played, but it was.
Yeah, he had 2022 he had 1,100.
Okay.
But before that, he only played in 13 games and he had 1,100.
Yeah.
That was in 2021.
But that's the position. Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley. I mean, you can just go on and name David Johnson. So many different backs where it's just happened. All right, let's give something away. What do you got?
Yeah, we have a great prize tonight. So I have 2 tickets to Tuesday's practice round. So we talked about Willie Z earlier. I'm not sure if he's on Tuesday. We got a couple days of practice rounds. But, yes, 2 tickets to Tuesday's practice round and the concert for the Players' Championship, plus $50 to Top Dog Tavern, which is right in Ballou's neighborhood.
It is, right there off of Old St. Augustine. All right, we'll take caller number 4, 641-1010. You get those tickets, and you get an opportunity to talk with JJ. When we come back, let's go to Las Vegas. Let's bring in our buddy Rafael Esparza. Check the latest as far as the money right here on Into the Night.
1010XL is your home for Jacksonville University basketball.
The Dolphins take a trip to Charlotte. JU at Queens. Tomorrow night at 7 on 1010 a.m.
Hoops fans, meet the Jacksonville 95ers, the city's newest basketball heroes. Get up close, grab autographs, snap photos, and feel the thrill. Wednesday, February 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Players Grill Mandarin. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Skilled trade jobs are booming, so begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Get paid while you train, full-time in carpentry, electrical, HVAC, or plumbing. Plus, earn a 10% raise every year, and the classes are 100% tuition-free. Start your new career today and apply before June 10th at NEFPAapprenticeship.org.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. It's getting chilly outside, but you can enjoy the outside inside with a new glass lanai from Lifetime Enclosures, or look ahead and get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality H2O in your home, call your local water boy, Keith, at Kenai Water Jacksonville. That's KENAI Water Jacksonville.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hi Jags fans, Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
904-274-5522. QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Rafael Esparza, MyBookie, mybookie.org. Let's see if the voice is back. We were lucky enough to get him on last night, a Radio Row star, and he's with us every Thursday night. Hello, Rafael.
Hello, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Do you feel like you've come back down now after that being was there anything? I mean, you've been there forever. You've seen all the big events. Anything close to last week in the Super Bowl?
I think people-wise, I thought the WWE event on Thursday was madhouse. I've never seen anything like that before. That didn't even have a wrestling match. It felt like it felt like when first time I ever saw Oscar De La Hoya fart Julio Chavez Sr. at Caesar's Palace many moons ago. That's what the crowd felt like, just electricity through the air. It was crazy.
Now, was this for the announcement of
WrestleMania? Yes.
Okay, so it's going to be The Rock.
Well, they have not finalized it. I'm hearing they're still tweaking things out, but I would guess The Rock will be at WrestleMania.
So is Vince like hiding in a tunnel, kind of the way like Bobby Valentine tried to, hiding in a tunnel when he got thrown out of a game as a Major League Baseball manager? I mean, I know we're told that Vince McMahon is nowhere near any of the facilities, but is that believable?
Yes, it is believable. He has other problems, lawsuits, jail time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has other fishes to think about. But I'm glad you called because this is probably going to come out sometime over the weekend. Total season wins for college football. Your Florida State's 9.5.
9.5. Yes. Yeah.
Florida Gators 5.5.
Yeah. Aware of that. They got a brutal schedule. It does Florida. All right, Taylor Swift, that prop won. Kansas City, obviously a big winner. I saw the number, 182 books out there in Las Vegas, but the overall intake was not nearly what they thought it would be.
No, we didn't get that big of $1 million bets like we thought we were. Mattress Max did not place a bet. Billy Walters didn't place his bet, so that's probably anywhere between $2 million. Probably anywhere around $4 million, because once people find out who they bet, usually people jump on there. More prop bets were bet this year than the game itself, so that was a little bit not surprising at all. But I mean, for me, I thought the Super Bowl was not even a top 10 visualized, not even a top 5 betting wise. I mean, there was buzz, but not buzz that I thought we were going to see.
Now, Walters was rumored to have said that it was a 4-point swing. He thought the line was wrong by 4 points. It was going to take Kansas City. But you said he did not place a bet.
Not that I know of.
Wow.
Not normally the places he bets, I would get a text or a buzz or, hey, did you know this? Something like that. Because I dealt with him for 5+ years at MGM and Aria, so I pretty much know all his side takes and who bets for him and stuff like that, and I heard nothing.
All right, the bookmakers today, first round, certainly did nail it when it came to Tiger Woods. I know it was 71.5. He bogeyed 18, so it was a 72. I guess also his placement moved from 44.5 to 45.5. Right now he's tied for 49th. So those who picked Tiger to underachieve today were winners.
Yeah, I mean, he started off pretty good, and I know people want to see him win again. I don't see that happening. How's he going to rebound tomorrow? You figure he's probably going to be sore tomorrow, back, legs, feet, whatever. I just wish they would stop trying to treat Tiger like the old Tiger, because it's not going to happen like that. It's great to see him out there, but that's not the Tiger we've seen in the past.
Now, when he's in a tournament like this, and hopefully he'll play one a month, we're hoping he'll play here in 26 days, do you get that much more activity because he's in the field, not only for him, but everyone else as well?
We used to, not as much on this one, because I think either people want to fade him, and that's it. Before, people are like, oh, he's going to win it. He's back now. they just want to fade him. I'm sure we took a bath on some of these prop bets that we did for first round and stuff like that. I'm hoping he maybe bounces back and makes the cuts, but I think they're fading him more betting-wise action than anything.
About a month ago, I asked you about the presidential odds. There's been some craziness as of late. Any line movement, either with President Biden or former President Donald Trump?
Trump's anywhere between minus 110 and minus 120, and now Biden's probably anywhere between 2-1 underdog. I've seen plus 235. I mean, it varies around there. This weekend for some odd, or Super Bowl weekend for some odd reason, a lot of Trump money came in. Everyone thought Trump was actually going to be at the game itself, but he wasn't there. I think he's got other things to worry about. He had a bad day in court today, so it's going to be very interesting to see. Now that he's going to be in court a lot during most likely when he's campaigning and all that. He said today he'll be in court in the morning, campaigning at night. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because he's no young spring chicken, too. If you're at court all day, are you going to have the energy and stamina to be campaigning all night?
We'll see. Interesting stuff. Hey, your website, youcanbetthat.com. You got the Razzie Awards coming out, the worst movies of 2023.
Yep, I put that up today. I was a little behind because I was trying to get my voice back and some other. I was trying to take some little breaks, but met some interesting people in the media. So now I got other shows I'm doing now. So, but it's fun. I have some movie prop bets coming out over the weekend. So it should be a fun, interesting weekend. I'm NBA All-Star Game. I'm doing some prop bets on that. College baseball odds, and I'm going to do college conference baseball odds for a couple conferences over the weekend too. So it should be Deadpool 3 movie odds should be fun. How many times the F word would be used in a movie? Who's going to use the F word more? Deadpool or Wolverine? I think that's going to be one of the prop bets out there. So I'm going to have a fun weekend because I'll be watching UFC 298 and trying to figure out how many different prop bets I can do because I've been lacking.
All right, leave us with this. How does Jon Voight get elected as worst actor or get nominated for worst actor? Jon Voight.
I agree on that, which is 3-1, which Chris Evans is probably going to win at that. But if you look at worst actress, Helen Mirren is in it, and Salma Hayek is in it. So it's other ones on there. Worst supporting actor. Mary Stuart Masterson, and Lucy Liu, one of my favorite actresses. I loved her in that CBS with Sherlock Holmes TV show. I loved her in that one. She's up for Best Supporting Actor. Granted, she's 7-1. I almost made her 10-1 because I didn't want to see her win.
I remember Bill Murray crushed her. Said she was a terrible actress.
Yeah, terrible actress. Yeah, was that Charlie's Angels, which is a horror.
I think you're right. All right. Ana de Armas. Is there a more untrustworthy looking woman in the United States of America, not named Kardashian, than Ana de Armas?
I agree, and if you really want to waste 2 hours of your life, watch Ghosted because it's up there. I kind of liked Winnie the Pooh, a horror movie. I thought it was more funny. I thought it was more comical than horror. But yeah, Ghosted is pretty bad.
All right, leave us with MyBookie, mybookie.org.
Yeah, we got some crazy stuff out there now that football's over. Don't forget UFOs getting ready to kick off next month in March. But we had a great weekend of college basketball. Great game tomorrow. San Diego State, New Mexico, Mountain West. People need to watch the Mountain West basketball, so jump over to MyBookie. UFC 298 this weekend as well. Jump over today. Sign up today. Win today.
Raphael, appreciate it as always. See you out there in Vegas in a couple of days.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
See you soon. There he goes. Raphael Esparza. Ana de Armas, by the way. Do you know who she is?
No, I just had to look her up.
She's so sexy. I mean, she is just absolutely beautiful. But she's one of those girls that you could be sitting with the bar, and if you have to go relieve yourself in a lavatory, she'd give her number to like 4 guys. She's got that. God. She could never be cast. You can't cast her in any other role outside of being the side chick, right? She's the mistress, she's the side chick, she's the other chick. And that's really the only role. She was in that movie with Ben Affleck where, surprisingly enough, she's cheating on Ben Affleck.
Okay, I'm looking up the one that he's talking about right now for the Razzie, The Ghosted, which she's in.
Yeah.
And it looks terrible.
All right. Well, she's easy on the eyes,
Yes,
so
she is.
I'll give you that.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit tireoutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
I can't believe you put Jon Voight as one of the 5 worst actors of this past year. I mean, the great Jon Voight. That is very disappointing to me.
Who did that list?
This is my buddy Rafael Esparza.
Oh,
from
Razzies,
MyBookie.org.
actually.
It's actually the Razzies. I'm sure these are more of a these go all over the place, not only on his website, which is called You Can Bet That.
I have a theory as to why Jon Voight was on there. Jon Voight is not exactly doesn't fit the narrative politically of the Hollywood elite.
Oh,
Jon Voight is
That's a good
staunch
theory.
Republican. So that's just a theory of mine.
I'm shocked that politics would come into play in any of this.
Yeah, especially for awards and honors like that.
Mm-hmm. Megan Fox, Helen Mirren, who's been considered a very good actor, Jennifer Lopez, Salma Hayek, and we just had a long conversation about Ana de Armas, who is just
Deep Water, by the way.
Yeah.
Is the Ben Affleck movie that
Deep
she's
Water.
in.
Yeah, she's on with a piano player. And it's like you know it's going to happen within the first 30 seconds of the movie. Okay? I know you're not supposed to talk in the movie theater. No one goes, I guess, anymore because you stream. But you're just like, hey, listen, there's no chance Ben Affleck is going to be able to stay with her. She's just got the look of,
I do know.
one of those.
Yeah, I'm with
those.
you. Absolutely.
Erotic.
It's never
Exotic.
a bad thing to look at either.
Yeah. No, she's beautiful, no doubt.
Yeah, it was interesting today. I'm getting ready to go on a little 4-day getaway. We're taking Forrest, Heidi, and my mom to the most magical place on earth. And we went to a liquor establishment today to get some libations. And I live a reasonably boring life, Rick. I lived through my 20s in Jacksonville Beach, and I'm thankful for that. And now I just go home and watch the evening news and drink my almond milk. I don't really get a lot of libations anymore. Man, I go to this store today, and they got things I've never even heard of. There's whipped cream whiskey and cookie dough vodka and peanut butter schnapps, and I'm thinking, what on earth? Where did all this stuff come from? I got an education this afternoon by the people that work there.
Yeah, it's disturbing. I mean, it really is.
You know what? I'm going to try. I got the whipped cream whiskey, so I'll give you a complete report.
Yeah, now the peanut butter whiskey's really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that, too. Yeah.
It doesn't sound good.
Oh, it's great.
But it's really, really good. Okay, so you're off for 4 days. I'll miss you. I'll be gone all next week as well. Heading back to Disney.
Yeah, well, we are. We're going to got some family that are coming in town, so we're going to do Disney a couple of days and kind of hang out at the Airbnb a couple of days. Not going to Vegas. I think yours is going to be a little bit more exciting. I get to go hang with Mickey Mouse. You get to go hang with U2 in the Sphere. So normally I would take your situation over mine. But yeah, it's that time of year, man. I always tell people in sports radio, we have roughly February until early August. And that's basically it, because once preseason football gets here, our vacations are over at that point.
For this year, it's over third weekend of July. The ACC announced 4 days this year, July 22nd, I think through the 25th. So, yeah, got to get everything in by then. All right, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, a lot of football tonight, obviously. David Behrman's a guy that people may not know that name. He was with ESPN for 18 years. He's now gone over to Pro Football Network as their chief content officer. PFN's a growing website when it comes to the NFL. So we're going to have David on tonight. Also, Justin Mello. I really like the work he does at the Draft Network. He also covers the Tennessee Titans, do a little AFC South talk. And we are 25 days away from free agency. We'll obviously comment as well on Ryan Nielsen's press conference earlier this afternoon.
25 days away from free agency, 26 days away from the Players' Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing stuff. Have a good show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, there he goes. That's Hacker Nation. We're out of time here tonight. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Thank you to Niall Lawrence Stample. Thank you to Ryan Nielsen for a real good presser earlier today. You Jaguar fans needed some good news. And dadgummit, that press conference created it. I thought it was outstanding, giving an A+. We have one more show to go tomorrow night, 6 to 8. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. You can get me on Twitter, Ballou1010X, L. JJ LaSelva is the producer of the program. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk on Friday at 6.
Big games, big hitters, big radio. Go big or go home. 1010 XL, the station that plays big.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back and